Good evening, and welcome to the at-large portion of the 2023 Cedar Falls Municipal Debate, sponsored by Northern Iowa Student Government in partnership with Women of Action, Cedar Valley Activate, and the Cedar Falls Waterloo branch of the American Association of University Women. I want to once again thank our moderators, Jamie Winfro and Andy Malone, for being with us this evening, and the City of Cedar Falls for providing us the City Chamber to host this debate, as well as the Cedar Falls Utilities for broadcasting this debate live. For the at-large portion, we will have Donna Bash, Hannah Chrisman, and Patrick McElhaney debating this evening. We once again request 90 seconds per candidate for opening remarks and 1 minute per question for each candidate. Rebuttals will be 30 seconds, and we will end with 1 minute closing remarks. We will begin the opening remarks with Donna Bash. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful and honored to be here tonight. And I am a visionary. For anybody who knows me, I love making dreams happen with a positive impact. And my passion in life has always been looking through the eyes of the people. And that is very dear to my heart since I've been 5 years old. Through my life, I've been giving back to my community faithfully and lovingly. And I always help others. And that's my very much passion. And I come not from Cedar Falls originally, I come from the city of Chicago, downtown Chicago, and I'm very proud to be from there. Why I say that so passionately, because I've been living here in Cedar Falls for the past 13 years and have no desire to move back. You'd be like, why wouldn't you move back to the city? Well, I lived through everything in this city. I lived, sharing apartments with friends. I lived in the suburbs. I lived downtown in the heart of Chicago. And I could also live in farmland, which I did with my relatives. So I bring to this table, to this chair tonight, and if I am officially voted in to council, I will bring that vision to everybody else because I lived it. I understand how busy streets are. I understand how tight quarters are. I understand the ups and downs of growth from a farmland that's beautiful to up and bustling events. So that's what I bring here to Cedar Falls, and I'm very proud and passionate to do so. Thank you.
First, I would like to thank the Northern Iowa Student Government, as well as Women of Action, Cedar Valley Activate, and the Cedar Falls Waterloo branch of the AAUW for organizing this event. And thank you, Jamie and Andy, for volunteering your time as well. My name is Hannah Chrisman, and it is one of my greatest joys in life to be a lifelong resident of Cedar Falls. I am running for City Council with the goal of empowering our community members, collaborating for change, and doing it all with a no-nonsense attitude. As a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as the president of the College Hill Partnership, I have experience working with not only community members in the public arena, but also with our city staff. As our community grows, we must consider the future, ensuring that we are investing well for all generations to come. We must maintain the character of Cedar Falls while adopting policies and procedures that address our need for more available housing and childcare. We need to prioritize our citizens' passions, such as our beloved trail system and our city parks, while encouraging the growth of business districts, including College Hill and University Avenue. I also hope to build new and lasting relationships with the University of Northern Iowa. UNI is at the foundation of our community, and their success is our success. If elected, I will endeavor to make Cedar Falls a place where all citizens feel not just heard when they have an issue, but also feel pride, joy, and enthusiasm for their hometown. Thank you again to our organizers and volunteers for taking your time, and for all the citizens who submitted questions this evening.
Good evening. My name is Pat McElhaney. Thank you to everybody that put this on. I'm usually on the other side of the camera, so I know how much goes into this and know that it's greatly appreciated. I know I'm meeting a lot of you for the first time, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Clinton, Iowa, went to school at St. Ambrose University, and then later on went to Vancouver Film School. Lived all over. Lived in Vancouver, Canada for a while. I also lived in Chicago. I lived in Orlando, Florida for a while, and also lived in Long Beach, California. Done a myriad of jobs. I've worked in a family car dealership. I worked for the federal government in General Services Administration. I worked at the Art Institute of Jacksonville, where I taught film classes. I was a head wrestling coach. for Celebration High School in Florida, and I even worked for Walt Disney World, where I met my beautiful wife while she was dancing on Main Street, USA. Currently, I work for the University of Northern Iowa. I have a beautiful baby girl named Lila, and I have the best trio of wiener dogs on the planet. I'm not a politician. I'm someone that really just has a deep care for Cedar Falls and the community. I'm here to make sure that the citizens' voices are heard. I want to make sure that opportunities are accessible to all citizens. I'm committed to making sure that aspirations become a reality, and I'm eager to learn and listen. Thank you.
First question. Some say that there's been some friction between city staff and city council to the detriment of the city's progress over the years. If you become a member of the city council, what will you do to ensure a better working relationship between city staff, council, and of course the mayor as well? And this first goes to Donna.
I would say healthy communication, and that's what I thrive for. My first jobs have been in corporate America, back at Dean Witter Discover Card & Company in Riverwoods, Illinois. And I'm proud to say that's my foundation of business. So I would bring to the table about communication and understanding about branding, company branding, and policies and procedures that have high impact to the customers. And the customers would actually be the citizens of Cedar Falls, because there's legalities of what you say, and it always impacts others. And that's what I would make sure, that things are copacetic on both ends in communication of all sorts.
Thank you. Hannah?
So I have several years now of experience working with city staff, and we are so fortunate to have an incredible city staff. Their work is phenomenal. I can't believe that we have the people that we have, and I think we really need to ensure that we keep those people around. I think the biggest thing is we need to show them respect and appreciation for the work that they do. It can be a very challenging job working for a city, and I think that they do so with pride. And so, showing them that same respect in return is very important. But we also have to keep in mind that we represent the citizens. And so, while the staff may bring forward great ideas, we need to hear our citizens as well and make sure that we value both of those things equally.
Thank you. Pat?
And to piggyback on what Donna was saying, the communication is key. We need to listen to them. They're on the front lines doing the work. We need to take that, understand where they're coming from, see what those issues are, and move forward with the solution. They're out there servicing the citizens, and that's what it's all about. And the communication, it goes from verbal and what we're going. If we're losing staff members, we need to do exit interviews. We need to figure out what's going on and get to a deeper root of an issue.
Thank you. Speaking of relationships, how do you view the relationship that the city has with you and I, and what would you do as part of city council to enhance that relationship? This time we'll start with Hannah.
So serving as president of the College Hill Partnership, I have a lot of experience working with the university as well. I think that relationship really needs to be much deeper. I think there are a lot of opportunities for us to connect with the university more, be that projects or further working on the Hill specifically. I just think that the university is full of people who are passionate about Cedar Falls, just like we are. And so we really need to tap into that group and let them know that we're listening and support them in, whatever ways that we can. If, the university is coming to us and asking us for help, we really need to consider that and, put forth a great effort to foster those relationships that we, I think right now are really lacking in.
Thank you. Pat?
We as a city need to sell ourselves to those students. They've already made the step to either stay here in Cedar Falls or come to our beautiful city. While they're here, we need to put our best foot forward. There's macro and micro things that we can do about it. Micro things as simple as I have students come to me and talk about how they're getting accosted by a parking representative on move-in day, threatening to have a boot on them. That's terrible. What is the value of that? What are the long-term repercussions of that? On move-in day, we have a ton of construction going on Hudson, one of the busiest streets. Students understand that. They see the inner workings of the city. They're not dumb. They know that. They remember that. And when they are graduating and they're looking to where they want to move, where they want to spend money, where they want to raise a family, those things matter. Those things change their perception. And we need to make sure that we are, like I said, putting our best foot forward.
Thank you. Donna?
Yes, thank you. So what I would bring to the council is I graduated proudly from DePaul University down in Chicago, Illinois. And with that, I received a major in art. And I bring that forth to the meeting today because I'm used to connecting from a large university to Chicagoland. And I would bring that connection from looking at UNI. Yes, I didn't go to UNI, but I walk that campus. I walk there with my dog, I walk there with my friends, and I have a connection there even though I'm a proud graduate of DePaul University. And I see the connection that needs to be made between the city and for the university. And I would bring that healthy communication of, okay, we have college students. They bring the most bang for our buck here. That's our driving force. And to have, different internships within the city and different communications of, okay, how can we help you, help them, and help each other? And that's what I believe that should happen, and that's what I would do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of our questions is parking in the downtown district is said to be a topic of discussion. How do you view the situation? Do you think there's a problem? What sort of actions do you think should be taken? Pat first.
Thanks for that question, Andy. Parking is an issue in every college town. It's one of those things that it needs to be reevaluated. It's a good problem to have. People coming, spending time downtown, looking for places to go is a good problem. There's a couple solutions. Incentivizing people to ride a bike is a great one. Bike parking. There's a long term, if we want to build a parking ramp. I think there's some pros to that. I think one of the more cons to that is that we have an issue rolling out contracts. And where I would caution against a ramp is, where's that money coming from? How is it evaluated? What does the tax structure work like? How do we roll it out to the citizens? How do we roll it out to the businesses? How do we divvy up parking? Is that parking going to be used for the residents of downtown? Is that going to be more for business? And do that things. So there's a lot of opportunities, but that's where I would go with those.
Thank you. Donna?
Yes, for parking, I lived it, I breathed it. I was a walker. I rode around downtown Chicago, and I'm proud to say that I get it. I lived it. I always had to have quarters with me, and the solutions that I've seen throughout the years and throughout my lifetime in different cities and different suburbs, and I see it here in Cedar Falls, and I feel sorry for Cedar Falls because I see that topic over and over and over again for the past 13 years, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, because it has to stop. I'm here to make that change because I'm here to take positive action. I'm a go-getter, and that is strictly anybody you ask, personally, professionally, I get things done, and I promise you that. And with parking, it has to stop. And what it has to stop, make a decision and stick with it. Don't hedge. We know we have a parking issue. Do one side of the street, no parking, other side parking. You have a standard cause of 3-hour parking or free parking. It's very simple solutions. It just has to be taken action with.
Thank you. Hannah?
You're welcome.
I think we have to first educate folks. I think when it comes to parking downtown, and if you look at parking on the Hill, there just needs to be more education for where people can park. I also think we need to do more to entice our businesses to share their parking, and we need to think of creative solutions for where people can park. I think that it would require some serious capital to build a ramp, and we need to look more to the future. For example, if you think about the very popular George's Local, their patio was an empty lot, and it was proposed to turn that lot into a parking lot. And, I think that would have been a huge missed opportunity. So again, I think we need to think creatively and really educate people about where the parking options are downtown and all over. And then, of course, there's always the option for more public transportation.
Well, speaking of downtown being crowded, the College Hill District is not. What do you consider the status of the area to be, and what actions would you support to improve that district? I think it's your turn, Hannah.
So College Hill is one of my biggest passions personally. I really support the vision plan. A lot of people put a lot of work into that plan, and there's some really strong ideas within that plan. I think, the first step is really connecting the upper and lower hill. We also need to talk a lot about infill within College Hill and the neighborhoods around it. The needs of college students have really changed over the years. And I know that there's been some talk about how do we attract families to the Hill, but I think what we first need to do is attract college students to the Hill. Right now there is not much diversity of business. I think there's a lot of opportunity for diversifying businesses that college students want to spend time at. And then, looking for new opportunities for places for them to live, and, more green spaces. There's just abundant opportunity for how we can improve College Hill.
Thank you. Pat?
Safety. If we want students there, number one has to be safe on the Hill. That's the first and foremost. When students want to go to the Hill, they want to feel safe. To piggyback, to do more things, we want to incentivize businesses to get there. How do we do that? Is that tax structure? I would reach out to Balance Yoga and I would talk to the OP. What were the hurdles that you had to go through, and why'd you leave? The OP very well could be there. They didn't move out of town. They moved to Cedar Falls. The students are all going downtown. They're not spending time on the Hill. Let's reach out to them. Why are you going there? They don't want to take an Uber across town. They would love to have that in their backyard. And what are we doing to keep them away? But I think that safety, I can't harp enough, safety on that Hill.
Thank you. Donna?
And I know the ins and outs about the Hill, and I would like it to be revitalized, because I know for Balance and Sidecar and other businesses down there, parking's an issue. For putting just one limit of 1 hour, how can you do yoga in 1 hour? I know personally, I do yoga. You cannot park in and out safely there for 1 hour. So that's an issue that needs to be addressed. And just for the college students, where can you go on the Hill and live if you're a college student? I would love to see businesses that can thrive there for the college students as well as people in the community that could walk to.
And you have the opportunity to respond to each other if interested. Okay. Speaking of College Hill, obviously a visioning plan was recently discussed by the City Council, but onto another plan. The resilience plan was not endorsed by the City Council. The resilience plan identifies current and future issues related to environment, the economy. So is that something you would consider revisiting, taking up and maybe endorsing? Pat, start with you.
I looked through it. There's good and bad. I don't think we really need to revisit it again. I think there's some important things that we really need to do to push forward, to really help grow the city. I hit the taxes, where we're spending money, how we roll out our leadership, what we're doing with our assessed value versus our millage, what we're doing for that, addressing housing needs, especially those houses for 25 to 50,000. How do we get those people to come in? Those are what I would go for. Yeah, thank you.
Donna?
I would like to continue to see the city of Cedar Falls a quaint city, and understand that since I did live in a big city, that I love it here, and I want to see the growth in a positive manner. And we're a car city. We will always be a car city, because I know from riding a train in the L, you need corporations to fill it and to keep the economy going. We have amazing community businesses here and little mom and pop shop community businesses, but you need major corporations to sustain this density that is unheard of for a small city. I mean, to even put a train or public massive transit, you need massive growth for that. And I don't see those dollars coming in and the people. Where are you going to have the people for that? So I'm very passionate about keeping Cedar Falls quaint, but growing in an amazing manner that's comfortable for everyone. And that's why I see through the eyes of the people. Thank you.
So I think of the resilience plan, more as a tool, and I definitely think it's something that we should revisit, especially as we look to write goals. The intention with the resilience plan was really more risk management, and then what can we do with those risks that we've identified. And we have seen this work for us in the past. I think a great example, there was this terrible flood in 2008, and then in 2016, there was an equally terrible flood, and we don't talk about it because we put a plan in place to help with that. And that is the point of the resilience plan. It's to really set clear goals and help us know who is responsible for completing those goals and then checking those boxes. And so, to me, it's not a political thing. It's just a plan to help make sure that we are protecting ourselves for the future.
As a public administration professor, I love talking about planning. So the former strategic planning process has languished in recent years. How do you view the need for a strategic planning process? And if you support it, how would you revive that process? I forget where we are going first. I think Donna.
For strategic planning, I'm used to that in the corporate world, and I get it, and I lived it, and I breathe it today still. Because besides having goals, you have to have a timeline. And I'm used to making timelines and then sticking with the timelines and having everybody on the same page with the timeline. So timelines even meaning like, what do you do in the next hour and then next month, and then revisit it as a group and then continue to go on for the year and then 2 years and 5 years and 10 years and keep revisiting and revising because plans change, people change, and the growth of the community. And that's when I'm comfortable with strategic plannings because you need it. You need to have everybody on the same page with healthy communication. Thank you.
Again, I think that there is great value in all of those plans. Right now, the majority of our goal setting happens at goal setting. And then I think we use the CIP as our main guide for whether we are doing something or not doing it. I think we need to create a more holistic plan so that our citizens can better understand what it is that we're working towards. And then as we, work on projects or, new ideas are presented to us, we can really measure up and say, does that fit into the goals that we have set? Is that going to accomplish any of the goals that we've set? And if it's not, then maybe we need to consider tabling that idea for now. So I really think there is major value in strategic planning, and that we need to have a very clear strategic plan to help citizens understand what it is that we're working towards and where we're going.
Thank you.
Strategic plan is important. It's important to be goal-oriented, and it's important to follow through with those. But we're not just pushing something out to our citizens. We need to listen to our citizens, see what's going on, see what we can do to help them, and know that they're listened to. And it's not just listen to them, but it's following through with that stuff. We haven't done a great job of listening to those citizens. The people that I talk to, they feel like there's a complete disassociation between the city council and themselves as a citizen. And so we want to listen to their goals as well. It's not just us pushing things to them and then following through with that stuff and making sure that they are represented and we're doing our best to make sure that their goals are getting met too.
Thank you.
Time for closing remarks. Hannah.
Thank you again to our hosts and volunteers this evening. All of the issues discussed tonight are not only important to consider when deciding who you will vote for in the November 7th election, but they will also continue to impact the future of Cedar Falls. It is so important for our citizens to be engaged in our community. You have the power to shape Cedar Falls into whatever you want it to be. It is my hope in running for City Council that I will empower you, help you to make your voice heard, and to collaborate with you. I hope to make Cedar Falls a place that you are proud of, that brings you joy, and that allows you to feel excited to be a resident of Cedar Falls. Thank you for considering me, Hannah Chrisman, as your at-large City Council representative. Please take some time to learn more about the issues, the candidates, and remember to vote on November 7th. Thank you.
And Pat?
Thank you to everyone that worked on this. I know a lot goes into it, and I really appreciate the chance to talk about the future of this beautiful city, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. And I just want to say that I promise that I will listen to you, the citizens of Cedar Falls, and that your voice will be heard on City Council. If you want to go to voteforpat.com, I answer every single one of my emails. I answer every single one of my phone calls. If you just want to see how the day's going, I'm happy to do that too. But you're here to be listened to. And then lastly, I just want to say goodnight to my lovely daughter Lila, Megan, and then my puppies, Grace Kelly, Prison Mike, and Dandy. I love you, and I'll be home soon.
And Donna?
And I'm very, very grateful for being here tonight. And a recap about me. I'm from the big city, but I love to keep Cedar Falls very small and grow comfortably. I will bring my city experiences and expertise about buildings, the love and passion for architecture, developments, subdivision, farms, suburbs, and small towns, code, planning, and businesses of all nature, and goal setting. I also was graciously appointed by the Mayor of City Cruz to be on the Art and Culture Board. And I have the desire to carry on my generational legacy of being a pioneer and trailblazer for the new frontier of creating a better life, as my relatives once did, coming from Poland across the United States. And I promise you that if I'm going to be the next City Council member at large, I will be looking through the eyes of the people. Thank you.
Thank you.